They shut down the mainland. We'll be destroyed for sure.
It's like no holes barred. It's the last one, so we really pulled all the stops out. There's non-stop action in it. I'm finding to my physical peril. It's ridiculous how much action there is in it. They recreated the original corridor that Darth Vader steps into in the beginning of Episode 4. We shot on a replica of that set, and that was quite a trip.
This was sort of the moment that I've been waiting for.
This is Anakin becoming Darth Vader.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
This is the one I've been waiting for, I'm sure, with all the other, fans of these films.
It's an extraordinary saga in everybody's lives.
It's a pretty fun universe.
It was new. It was different. It was something we hadn't seen before. The places they were going, the kinds of people they ran into, the kinds of weapons they had, it was totally something out of a fantasy that we all had, but no one had been able to put on screen yet.
Greetings, young Jedi. What brings you to our remote sanctuary?
Everyone was really genuinely excited by the story they were telling this go-around.
This film is the final missing piece in the series.
George has been very clever in tying up all the ends, and I think in terms of matching up 3 to lead on to 4, it's completely taken care of.
Twisted by the dark side, young Skywalker has become.
This will be the one that they have to watch all the time to go, this is the one, right here. You're under arrest, Chancellor.
Are you threatening me, Master Jedi?
There's an enormous amount of fighting, and it starts right off the credits in the massive action sequence that lasts about 35 minutes.
This movie, it's so full of surprises. You have a rough idea what's going to happen, but just like everybody else, you've no idea really what's going to happen.
It's very complicated getting all the things that have to be in this script in there. Answer all the questions and complete the stories.
This is the one that they wanted. This is the one that answers everything.
There's non-stop action in it. I'm finding to my physical peril. It's ridiculous how much action there is in it.
All the explanations, all the relationships, all the things that fall apart, everything happens right in here.
We all know where the story's going. It's just a matter of how it's presented, and it's done in a clever enough way, that you're always involved and invested in what's going on.
So you know the ending first, and then you go and find out how it happens. Because the issue is not what happens, but how it happens.
And now you know everything. So Episode 3 is the climax, really.
It's like no holes barred. It's the last one, so we really pulled all the stops out.
Now, at last, it's all connected. So you can actually watch from 1 to 6, and it all makes sense. Yeah, if you turn, and that's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit high. I can margin a bit this way.
Now, what's interesting about it, of course, it's Star Wars, but it's kind of a movie in its own right.
Looks good to me. I like it.
This is a great story, and you can see it in George's eyes. He was very passionate, and it was really neat to be a part of.
I thought I'd just come out of seeing one of the great American movies.
I wanted to be a part of something that was, that fantastic.
Learn to know the dark side of the Force, and you will achieve a power greater than any Jedi.
The third time's the charm. It's not only a really good Star Wars film, it's a really good film, period.
Remember back to your early teachings. All who gain power are afraid to lose it, even the Jedi.
The Jedi use their power for good.
Good is a point of view, Anakin. The Sith and the Jedi are similar in almost every way, including their quest for greater power.
The Sith rely on their passion for their strength. They think inwards, only about themselves.
And the Jedi don't.
And the Jedi are always sort of fighting this reality of the fact that they're, in essence, diplomats.
I need your help, son. I'm appointing you to be my personal representative on the Jedi Council.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What?
They sort of persuade people to do the right thing.
The council wants you to report on all the chancellor's dealings.
That's treason.
We are at war, Anakin.
But their job really isn't to go around fighting people. Yet they're now used as generals, and they're fighting a war, and they're doing something they really weren't meant to do.
It's very dangerous putting them together. I don't think the boy can handle it. I don't trust him.
They're being corrupted by this war, by being forced to be generals instead of peacemakers.
Obi-Wan and the council don't trust me.
They trust you with their lives. It is sort of the last piece in the puzzle. It's got the interlocking plot details to sort of make everything click with episode 4.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last.
But at the same time, I think it's really the most dramatic out of any of the 5 that have been out so far.
George, I think, has done a really, really fantastic job of taking those subtleties and tying them into the original trilogy and making it all pay off in a really exciting way. I couldn't have envisioned it, coming out any better than it has. So I'm very excited.
I've been waiting for this as Palpatine has, for about 6 years now, knowing all the time in that final Star Wars film this will all come to fruition.
They want to see Anakin change. They want to know why. They want to see how it all connects to the original trilogy.
Every single Jedi is now an enemy of the Republic. Do what must be done.
I think they're going to love it. I think it delivers. I think George has done a brilliant job, tying it all up together, making anyone who's interested in the trilogies seeing the old ones in a completely different light, and at the same time delivering everything that he needed to.
Do not hesitate. Show no mercy.
Who could have done this?
Twisted by the dark side, young Skywalker has become.
It was a lot of fun to get to do, and to see it on the big screen is pretty neat.
It's an extraordinary movie. It's hard to say that when you're in it.
I feel so helpless.
And the relationships are real, and you care about them, and it just sort of makes the whole unraveling it all at the end a very emotional experience.
You were the chosen one!
At the moment, I'm just knocked out by the movie.
But the last act in particular, as it ties into the original trilogy, you're just going to leave the theater, I think, on such a high.
It's all been worked out. This is really how he goes astray and turns into the big guy in the black mask.
With all due respect, Master, is he not the chosen one? Is he not to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force?
So the prophecy says.
A prophecy that misread could have been.
He will not let me down. He never has.
I hope right you are.
did my father die?
You were the chosen one!
Episode 3 ultimately is the story about how does Anakin Skywalker become Darth Vader, and I think that's the story that everybody has been waiting for since you know, the introduction of Darth Vader, since the revelation that he's Luke Skywalker's father.
This is where the fun begins.
Let them pass between us.
It's an interesting story, and it's a fun story to tell, because it is the story of how a good person turns bad.
I still think the iconic black helmet, caped, he's the epitome of all evil, everything that was bad. He was the favorite baddie.
Your sad devotion to that ancient religion has not helped you conjure up the stolen data tapes, or given you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Enough of this. Vader, release him.
As you wish.
It's always been about Darth Vader and his, the prophecy that says he will be the hero of the galaxy and bring, you know, balance to the Force by destroying the Sith.
With all due respect, Master, is he not the chosen one? Is he not to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force?
So the prophecy says.
A prophecy that misread could have been.
He will not let me down. He never has.
I hope right you are.
This is Anakin becoming Darth Vader. This is him at that, you know, key transitionary time in his life that I've been waiting for.
He started out as a very loving and compassionate person. And as he progressed, it was his inability to control his temper, his inability to let go of things, and his quest for power that were his undoing.
I'm not the Jedi I should be. I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
His whole slide to the dark side is quite carefully done, and it comes from very human things.
You know, that's what makes the story so interesting, is that it's really just a fear of losing control, you know, and it's a fear of losing the ones that he loves. So it's very much rooted in reality. You know, these are genuine fears that people have.
This is the one where you understand how good people go bad and still believe they're good in the end. They're doing the right thing.
He's in love, you know, and that he's going to be a father, and that he's jealous, and we've all done it, messed things up by being too, because we're young and naive and not able to step back and go, oh no, it's okay.
I think there's no doubt in my mind that Episode 3 is the one that most older fans wanted Episode 1 to be.
They recreated the original corridor that Darth Vader steps into in the beginning of Episode 4. We shot on a replica of that set, and that was quite a trip. And there was something chilling about that breathing noise that, as a kid, made you frightened, you know. The idea of bumping into him was frightening. Just the thing of nightmares.
From Episode 1 to Episode 3, you see how this nice, charming little kid turns into somebody who's evil but doesn't realize it.
Yes, Admiral.
Our ships have sighted the Millennium Falcon Lord, but it has entered an asteroid field and we cannot risk...
Asteroids do not concern me, Admiral. I want that ship, not excuses.
Yes, Lord.
This was sort of the moment that I've been waiting for, was getting to make that final transition and maybe get to dome the dark helmet and put the whole costume on. And so that was very, exciting for me.
This is truly what, I mean, he wanted to do in the film before. He wanted to be, he wanted to be Darth Vader.
I suppose the high point, the day when almost filming stopped completely, was when Hayden emerged in the suit, in Vader's suit.
All of the crew and everyone from the production office came out to set to sort of bear witness.
When he walked on set as Darth Vader, that was a real iconic moment.
I remember walking out for the first time onto set and walking by everybody and the experience of watching their eyes light up and sort of all of the awes and, oh my God. It was thrilling, you know, something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Although we're all very sophisticated human beings, you know, and good actors, it affected everybody. And I remember thinking, we're never going to do this scene because there were so many people reacting in so many extraordinary ways.
I think you react that way when you see it on the big screen as well, you know, for the first time. It's pretty amazing.
Because he'd come back, he had been recreated. So it was a huge moment for everybody in all sorts of different ways.
That is the key missing piece of Episode 3, which everybody's always wanted to see, which is the return of Anakin Skywalker in the suit.
That first breath is pretty badass.
It was, you know, kind of breathtaking for most of the people there to actually see the icon in person.
It's an extraordinary experience.
This is the weapon of a Jedi Knight. Not as clumsy or random as a blaster. An elegant weapon.
The fighting grows more and more intense as we go along through episode and episode.
I was amazed. I thought that my character dealt with people through his hands and through his head. But when I got the first schedule and I saw the words fight training, I realized there might be more to it than that. And then, when a lightsaber was produced and I was told it was mine, I was surprised.
You know, you just kind of use your imagination and feel the force and kind of enjoy it and just kind of live in that moment.
As the drama between the combatants becomes more intense. Obviously, this is the most intense in Episode 3 because of the fact that you have two best friends, mentor and student, fighting each other to the death. Toward the end of the movie, I think we have one of the longest continuous sword fights that's ever been filmed, and that was days and days and weeks of shooting.
It's relentless and exhausting, but the thing is, when you've done them, it looks extraordinary, and I'll be very proud of them when they're all put together.
The lightsaber fights are, it's the cherry on top, it's the icing on the cake. It's just a hell of a lot of fun.
Well, obviously, I think I'm very happy with all the fighting scenes. I mean, they've been incredibly exhausting to do, in that there's so many of them. There's such a lot of fighting, and it's such an intense burst of energy to do them.
They can do most of their own stunts. They do most of their own sword fighting. They're very keen to do that, and they've learned to be extremely good swordsmen. It's very hard, and you have to memorize them. And you really have to memorize them well or you get hit in the head.
It's a dance. It's choreographed as a dance. An aggressive dance, but nevertheless a dance.
I think Hayden and I have got them to such a pitch, you know, that they're incredibly fast, and it's one thing that we do really well together.
It's more fun than you can imagine.
We do those fight scenes fantastically well.
last fight, which will be just epic, to say the least. Anakin and Obi-Wan are really put to the test. I think Anakin's fighting style has even evolved since the last film as well. You know, it's just more aggressive and there's just more to it.
Created a completely fictitious environment that has to have some reality to it, and that's really where Trish took off.
To wear the costume is wonderfully empowering. The one I wear in the kidnap sequence, people keep coming up and saying, is it rubber, is it leather? It feels reptilian. People go, ugh, and that's...